Creatures chatter and tales begin, dragons, fae, and healing lore, magic and wonder behind every door.
Hi, I'm Andel, and I'm going to be starting this channel with a little bit of a disclaimer. This is Saturn. He is my obnoxious, almost 6-month-old kitten. I wanted to start this out by saying, no matter what questions you have, I am not a veterinarian. If anything ever does happen to a personal animal of yours or an animal you may know, family, friend, please seek medical advice right away, not from friends or other fellow veterinary technicians, as I want to make sure this is a good educational channel, but also not discount anything that we do in the field. With all that being said and out of the way, I hope you enjoy this and find it a little bit entertaining and informational, because that's what I'm striving for. For the first video, I'm gonna see if I can fill you guys in a little bit on how, and more so, what should be widely known, but the more I talk with our clients and the more I'm digging into it, the more I find it's not really known how we should be feeding our pets. Cats or dogs, kibble, wet food, or raw diet, anything. I'm very flexible. I'm not one that's going to judge you. I just want things done correctly and to make sure the pet gets the best care possible. I know it's hard sometimes because there's so much on the market, but I'll be referring mainly to store-bought food over raw just because that's where my more common knowledge is. And if you have info or a reliable source for raw diets, I'd love to see it. Drop it in the comments below, and I can always investigate that further. As far as things go for common commercial food, I do feel like it's widely misunderstood how much pets should be getting, honestly, primarily due to the fact that any commercial food has the brackets, whether it's on the box of wet food or the back of the bag you buy. It has the amount to be given per how many ever pounds that pet falls into bracket-wise, say 5 to 10 pounds, you feed 1/4 of a cup. That is referring to the pet's overall maintenance calorie intake. And those always refer to intact animals. So if your pet is castrated, spayed, neutered, altered, however you'd like to put it, if their reproductive parts are not in them anymore, it is safe to say that 6 to 10 months after that, their metabolism slows considerably. It would be comparable for us needing, let's say the average person, I think it's 2,500 calories in a day. That would be like taking us from 2,500, removing our extra parts, and then we only need, let's cap it at 1,500. Cut it in half, easily. Now, that isn't to say all pets are like this. Some have higher energy requirements naturally, whether they are intact or not. Some, such as your, Bengals, Savannah cats, or your pointers and hunting dogs, or your hounds. Hounds are notorious for being super skinny because that's how they're meant to be built. Often people see them and think, oh my God, they're so emaciated, something's wrong with them, they're not eating enough. No, that's how they're supposed to look. But you don't want them so skinny if you choose to keep them intact that they're not meeting their requirements necessary to sustain themselves properly, especially when they're in their young stages. Any dog or cat, you can easily squeak by and feed a little bit extra because they have so many growth spurts happening throughout their life stage that they can handle higher intake for a while. Now, once they hit a year, 2 years old, depending on their breed, I'll use dogs as an instance, Chihuahuas and Poodles, the toy breed, not the standard that you make doodles with typically, those you will get much faster maturation, so they'll reach their adult stage much sooner than, say, a St. Bernard, a Great Pyrenees. Those breeds, the giants, don't mature fully until they're almost 2, sometimes 3, for the really big babies. That's primarily because they have so much going on, they need all that time. Now, if they stay intact, you can maintain what you've been feeding. Let's say 4 cups in a day, so split that in half, 2 cups in the morning, 2 cups at night. If you have them altered after they're done growing, which really, I'll make a video about that too, but the larger the dog you have, the longer you should wait just to be safe, to benefit them most. But I won't get into that. That's a whole episode on itself. I'll need to figure out how to tie that into something mythical. More to come. But mainly, if you happen to fix them later on, once they are done with their growth and development for the most part, say a year, year and a half old from many large breed dogs, then you can consult your veterinarian and their team. Sometimes people like myself, a vet tech, are versed in calculating the correct amount of calories needed per day, and we can do that easily. Usually takes maybe 5-10 minutes, and we can go over that real easy with you. That way you won't have to risk your pet being overweight once they reach that stage and they're not needing as much caloric intake, and we can be on the road to helping them stay a consistent healthy weight and not see these poor little potatoes and walking ottomans coming about. And as they get older, that's way more important, because once any animal hits past their middle life stage, let's say 4 to 5 for a lab or a golden, it really takes a toll on their joints. And while we can do as much as possible and load them up on joint supplements and or arthritic medication as they get even older in geriatric years, it's going to help them most keep off any extra weight just as much as it would a person. If there's underlying issues, that's where commonly blood work will be done, and your team might want further diagnostics to see if there's anything more going on. This might be echoed quite a bit in the field and any other YouTube channels with veterinary advice or recommendations, but we don't have magic wands. I know the costs suck sometimes. We're not making that much more than other people, believe me. If we were in it for the money, the vet field wouldn't exist. We're there for the pets. So, sometimes we have to pick and choose what we do, but usually if you need to go that extra step and figure out if something is metabolically wrong with your pet as to why they're not losing or they're not gaining weight, either of the spectrum, that might have to be another conversation with your team. So now that we know exactly how we should be feeding our pets based off their physical state and what life stage they are in, kittens and puppies do require higher fat content than adults and far more than seniors. So that is why life stages are typically on the bag for everyone to see. And through that, they can easily determine what amount and what would best benefit the individual pet and make sure that they can continue on as healthy as possible. Now, how does that tie into anything mythical? Well, there was a certain film released last year, I want to say, or maybe in 2023, a very famous title, and it had some pretty impressive actors in it, but it went about with a role-playing and had a very morbidly obese dragon in it. If you know, shout out in the comments below, because if you don't, you should watch it. It's hysterical and ties into what I'm about to say. If you know this film, then you know exactly what gigantic, obese as all get out red dragon I'm talking about. And had that creature not been indulging in every forlorn adventurer and poor princess that it wanted to in its younger days, maybe it wouldn't have gotten so obese and almost unable to move, but still managed to destroy Cavern and almost take out the adventurers of the film. So some things work out for the best, I suppose. However, something like that easily demonstrates how any creature, real or mythical, could technically become overweight due to certain circumstances. Whether that's if we are feeding our beloved babies because we want them to stop begging and we love them so much one more treat isn't going to hurt, or if you become a very overindulgent dragon and just pig out because you can and people keep trying to come and slay you, so you feed on them instead, you will become overweight because it doesn't move enough.
That's one pudgy dragon.
Stembashot! Must have found a new den. Did he eat the last one?
After all that, I hope you think that this channel deserves a chance and will come back for the future visits. Thank you.
Mystic menagerie, wild and free. Stories, creatures, mystery. Turn the page, take a peek. Adventures waiting, come and see.